Ragging in any way or form has been prohibited and is punishable under law. In recent times, along with the dynamic of new friendships that are formed in college, it must be understood that feelings of superiority or power or exerting authority must be put aside. There lies a huge importance in creating awareness and an environment where all students feel welcome and safe. Under the gist of welcoming new students to the educational institution, the senior students engaging themselves in notorious practice wherein the junior students are being harassed, and moreover they make easy target for their own sadistic pleasure. In common term, ragging means playing practical jokes on somebody or teaching someone a lesson. Now we will see what the law says about the term ragging. What constitutes ragging? The Kerala Prohibition of Ragging Act 1998 defines ragging means doing any act by disorderly conduct to a student or an educational institution which cause or is likely to cause physical or psychological harm or raise apprehension of fear or shame or embarrassment to that student, and includes teasing, abusing or playing practical jokes on or causing hurt to such students, or asking a student to do any act or performing something which such student will not in the ordinary course willingly do. The guidelines issued by the University Grant Commission, which is published as the UGC Regulation on Curbing the Menace of Ragging in Higher Education Institution 2009, gives a wider definition and meaning to the term ragging. Ragging constitutes one or more of any of the following acts with or without an intent to derive a sadistic pleasure or showing of power, authority or superiority by a student over any fresher or any other student. Any conduct by any student or students, whether by words spoken or written, or any act which has the effect of teasing, treating or handling with rudeness a fresher or any other students. Indulging in rowdy or indisciplined activity by any student or students which cause or is likely to cause annoyance, hardship, physical or psychological harm, or to raise fear or apprehension thereof in any fresher or any other students. Asking any student to do any act which such student will not in the ordinary course do, and which has the effect of causing or generating a sense of shame or torment or embarrassment so as to adversely affect the physique or psyche of such fresher or any other student. Any act by a senior student that prevents, disrupt or disturb the regular academic activity of any other student or a fresher. Exploiting the services of a fresher or any other student for completing the academic task assigned to an individual or any group of students. Any act of financial extortion or forceful expenditure burden put on a fresher or any other student by students. Any act of physical abuse, including all variant of it: sexual abuse, homosexual assaults, stripping, forcing obscene and lewd acts, just as causing bodily harm or any other danger to health or a person. Any act or abuse by spoken words, emails, post, public insults, which could also include deriving perverted pleasure, vicarious or sadistic thrill from actively or passively participating in the discomforture to fresher or any other students. UGC Amendment 29 June 2016 explains any act that affects the mental health and self-confidence of a fresher or any other students. Any act of physical or mental abuse targeting at another student, fresher or otherwise, on the ground of color, race, religion, caste, ethnicity, gender, including transgenders, sexual orientation, appearance, nationality, religion origin, linguistic identity, place of birth, place of residence, or economic background is punishable. It is worth pointing out that besides the disciplinary actions from the side of education institution, the act of ragging is also penal offence as per the provisions of the Kerala Prohibition of Ragging Act 1998. If found guilty by a competent court, those who commit ragging is liable to be punished with imprisonment for a period of which may extend 2 years, and also with fine up to sum of 10,000. UGC regulations prescribes that anyone found guilty of ragging or abetting ragging, whether actively or passively, is liable to be punished in accordance with regulations as well as under the provisions of penal law for the time being in force. The provisions of IPC such as section 305, 306, 322, 324, 325, 326, 506, 507, etc. that could be used along with the offence of ragging. Through the judgment in the case of Vishwa Jagriti Mission through President versus Central Government, the Honorable Supreme Court, in exercise of its jurisdiction under Article 32 and 142 of the Constitution of India, has laid down broad guidelines for the education institution to prevent ragging. The guidelines as follows. Anti-ragging movements to be initiated by all colleges and the educational institutions. Undertaking to be taken both from the fresher students and their parents or the guardian. Undertaking to be taken from the senior students and their parents or their guardians. Notice to be issued indicating where to approach for redressal in case of ragging. Management, principals and the teaching staff to have personally interacted with the freshers. Anti-ragging committee to be formed in all educational institutions. In each educational institution, ragging-prone zones to be identified and carefully guarded. Society should be sensitized on issues of ragging. Failure to prevent ragging to be construed as an act of negligence. Hostels, accommodation to be carefully guarded. Migration certificates to mention whether the students ever indulge in ragging. Withdrawal of financial assistance to institutions where ragging incidents are reported. Students to first approach their colleges under disciplinary committee. Police not to follow a retributory approach while dealing with the ragging cases. Formation of anti-ragging committees are to be nominated and headed by the head of the institution and must consist of representatives from civil and police administration, student representative across the batches and the gender-based persons, local medias, NGOs, faculty members or non-teaching staffs and the parents. In order to maintain the discipline and decorum beside the decency in the institution, all the students of the institution are to be strictly advised or warned not to indulge themselves in any kind of ragging activity in the institution, campus or even in the hostels. Since ragging is not a way or method to make friends with the fresher, therefore the senior students would set as an example of a decent behavior with their juniors. Thank you.